Hey squad, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. My name is Miss Fina. Kindly remember to like, share and subscribe. The Fort Jesus. This is a fort located on Mombasa Island. Guys, while you visit Mombasa, kindly make sure you visit out this place. It is a historical place and you're going to learn much about the historical events that took place here. So stay tuned as I take you around. The Fort Jesus was built between 1593 to 1596 by order of King Philip I of Portugal. It was built by the Portuguese and the reason was to guide the old port of Mombasa. So here guys is just the way to the Fort Jesus, and this is what you meet along the way. These are arts that you can buy and they are so much affordable. So stay tuned as we get there. So here is the entrance, and the first thing you have to do guys, because this is the corona season, you have to wash your hands and make sure they're clean and wear your mask on. So that's the first thing that we did here. So let's keep on going. We are heading now over inside the fort, and the first thing you have to do at the entrance is to pay an entrance fee, which is 200 shillings for we Kenyan citizens and about 1200 to 1300 shillings for the non-citizen. That's about $13. So here is the entrance and we are going to get our tickets, so stay tuned. So this is the aerial view of the whole fort. So this is the first place you're going to make your stop, and make sure you have a tour guide who is very much affordable depending on how much you bargain on the outside. So this is our tour guide just showing us what we are going to expect when we get in there and showing us the entrances to this place. So this is the entrance that we used. So here we are getting our tickets stamped before we make the grand entrance into the fort. So stay tuned guys as I take you along. So once again here we have a structure of the Fort Jesus. This is the second structure that we are going to get to learn a little bit more about it before we get inside it. The fort was built in a cross-like structure, and this was built by the Portuguese. The reason why it was built like that, it's because the Portuguese are Christians. So it was built between 1593 to 1594, and it took them about 3 years to be constructed. It was sculptured by the Mijikenda and they were paid with food. It was a rock-like structure, so it had to be sculptured into now this fort. That's why it was called the fort, to mean military base, and Jesus because it was built in the body like for Jesus. Initially this fort was painted red to indicate the blood of Jesus. So stay tuned as I take you around. Fort has 4 entrances, and the first entrance is where we used to get in here. So the port was surrounded, or rather it is still surrounded with water, and this is where the shipments used to take place, and the ships used to carry weapons, food and clothing that was shipped into the port. So stay tuned as I take you. The fort was captured and recaptured at least 9 times, and in 1619 it was captured by the Arabs, and later on they started closing out the entrances that used to bring in the food, clothing and weapons. This entrance and this far end entrance, hence making people to start dying. The slaves that were inside there, the Mijikenda slaves, started dying out and people started reducing in number. Later on the Arabs intermarried with the Mijikenda, hence the Swahili culture and the Swahili spices that are around in Mombasa and everything. It was brought about by the intermarriage that took place between the Mijikenda and the Arabs. In 1895, the fort was captured by the British and they changed it into a prison. In 1895, the British later on declared this as the British East African Protectorate. Later on, the British colonized Kenya, but in 1960 they built this segment which was called the Artifact Room. I'm about to show you in a minute. Let me turn my camera. So guys, this is the Artifact Room or the Artifact Center, whereby all the historical things that were used were stored. So guys, at this far end here, there used to be the tombs whereby people used to be buried there while they died, the slaves and all that. But later on it was closed down because tourists used to get scared to go there. But initially it was opened and we could tour this place. So unfortunately I'm not going to show you this place because actually offices were built there instead of the tombs, so there is nothing to see at this far end as tombs is concerned. So at that far end is where the tomb area was, but as you can see, offices are already built up there. Canoes, these are the weapons that were used to fight their enemies, so let's head over there. So the canoes were placed right beside the watchtowers, but they were later on moved here for the sake of visibility while tourists visit. So guys, this is how the bullet looks like. It is round in structure and so heavy. So the bullet could be placed at this front hole, and then at the far end at the back they could place the gunpowder and then light it up, and then the force that could be released from the gunpowder could push this bullet, and then the bullet could hit the targeted ship. Mostly these cannons were placed beside the watchtowers. So this is where the gunpowder was stored. Mostly it was stored at a very high place because gunpowder is easily explosive. So if it tended to explode, it could just explode upwards and hence not causing a lot of damage.
Like that one there. Hii map ni kama ile ambayo tumeona, na hii iko na guide yake from number 1 to 17. Captain House ni ile nyumba pale. Hii nyumba ilikuwa ya captain, alikuwa ni Captain Philip Q. Ilikuja kabomoka kitambo sana. Waarabu hawakuwahi kutumia, wakaona hii ili kibomoe tu. Roof yake ilikuwa imezibwa na makuti na manyasi. Unajua makuti? Wamejipenda.
Na kamijikenda.
Sasa ilikuwa imejengwa hivyo. So ikabomolewa kabisa yote. Sasa Waarabu hizi sehemu za juu walijenga kama design ya msikiti. Unaona kama hivyo zile sasa. Waliongeza meza tatu wakidesign hivyo Jesus kama msikiti. Nenda kule huko. Unaona hizi nyumba na hizo misikiti zenye na kuanga. Sasa sisi tumeingilia na hivi. Tukapita hivi na tulikuwa hapa kwa kibanda. Sasa tulikuwa hapa, sasa tunapita tunaenda hivi. Ambapo tukiingia hapa chini kwa nilio juu tukipiga silaha, kutoka hapo tunapanda ile sehemu. Kutoka ile kona kule mpaka hadi kona kule mwisho hiyo ni kitu. Tunazunguka kutoka na huku, ile ni kama kutoka ile hiyo sehemu ambayo tumeingilia, hiyo ni kona kule right.
Guys, this is the passage of the arches. That is it. So we are going down it. So guys, the passage of the arches was the passage for weapons. So this is how it looks like. This is the entrance staircases. And then to the far end, that is where the weapons were passed through. That was the gate of the weapons. Then inside here is where the weapons were stored, and this room was sculptured from the rocks. So let's get in and see how it looks like. So at this far end, the large weapons were stored here. And then the door to this entrance place was so small because only weapons were allowed to pass in. But later on it was enlarged because it became a tourist center, and so when lots of tourists come, they have to have a larger space so that they can all enter in.
All these soldiers ambao wako huko wanakuja huko kuangalia enemy ship. Kwa hivyo hizo ship zilikuwa zikisimama zikileta maskari.
So the ship could dock here, and then the police that were being brought in could just rather walk inside the fort. So this is one of the watchtowers, so let's get in and see how it looks like from that upper side. So this is where the captains could watch the oncoming ships, and they could alert the police if it is an enemy's ship, and then now the police could prepare the cannons, and then they hit the ships, and then the ship breaks and sinks. So generally this was a watchtower for the captains. I told you initially most of the cannons were beside the watchtowers, so this is one of them, and this is a British cannon whereby the gunpowder could be placed on top here instead of inside. And the Omani Arabs later on captured the fort. They later on extended the walls in form of a mosque extension, and that is it. On top here was a wall, but it was later on demolished. At every corner of the fort we have a watchtower, and this is the second watchtower. This is where the slaves could pass through the passage of the stairs. So guys, there's a point where water tends to flow into the fort, so the government had to build this sea guard to protect the fort from the water flowing in. So this wall just minimizes the flow of water into the fort. So there was a captain by the name San Matthews, and this was his chilling point in the course of the day. He used to just come and chill around here and watch the ocean and watch the ships and feel the breeze and all that. So here was his chilling place. That far end is the English Point Marina, a very big restaurant. But for now, this point was turned into a selling place where vendors come and sell different type of things. So here is another watchtower. You also get to learn about the cycad tree, whereby this tree grows in the tropics, and it is a very rare species of a tree, and much more, guys. So make sure you visit the Fort Jesus while in Mombasa. So this was used as a kitchen initially by the Portuguese and the Arabs, but later on when the British captured this, it was used as a prison, and here is where Mekatilili Wamenza, one of the wise leaders, was later on imprisoned. This is the window where food was served through for the slaves and the police.
Waarabu ndio walishinda kukuza wale Portuguese. Sasa walipewa huu mlango kama zawadi yao. Na mlango huu umetengenezwa na information technique. These are the 6 pillars of Rima. The other side there are 5. Symbolize 5 daily prayers.
So these ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 daily prayers.
Okay.
This flower symbolizes peace, amani. And chain, using the chain symbolizes unity. And we have the verse at the top there. Hiyo verse ya Kiarabu inasema inal fatakna takafatakna mubinani. Verily we have given you a clear victory. Ama bila shaka tumekwisha kupa kushinda kuliko dhahiri. Sasa kwa ni msikiti wa Waarabu. Waarabu walikuwa kuingia hapa, wanaingia, wanaswali, wanaangalia Meka. Hii ndio ilikuwa msikiti wao. Sasa milango kama hii kule Old Town, kuna watu wanatengeneza. Mlango mmoja wao wanauza 150,000. Mdogo. Sasa mkubwa wanauza 200,000.
So inaweza fungia wapi? So guys, watch out for part 2. Kindly remember to like, share and subscribe. Till next time, bye.